Good morning. We are going to be covering 5.5, which is on Social Security and Medicare. Both of these were created, or at least I know Social Security in the 70s, so that when people retire, they can collect that Social Security. And Medicare is obviously for healthcare. Both of these aren't a ton of money when you get older, so don't depend on Social Security to be like an entire income. You'll still need some sort of retirement inventions or investments to make it. So, anyways, jumping in, Dr. Grumman got his first job in 2020. In that year, they took out 6.2% for Social Security up until a person made 137. So Social Security maxes out, like they only take it up until a certain point in your salary. Once you make over that, they don't take out that tax anymore. For one, they assume you probably have other retirement financial options. So here is what he earned in 2020. How much did he pay for Social Security? So even though he made over that amount, he's only going to get taxed for Social Security on the maximum taxable income. And there is a chart in your book. It goes all the way back to 1978, but it covers the maximum amount of income you are taxed on it. So you only get taxed up until that point. So I would multiply that maximum amount by the percent as a decimal, and you get $8,950.50. Next one. So in 1978, which is when it started, the combined rate was only 6.05%, and it had a different maximum taxable income. Notice how much less it is, but that's because inflation and over time that amount just keeps going up, right? People are able to make more and more money as the years go by. So in part A, create a piecewise function. So here is my piecewise function. You are taxed 0.0605 of whatever you make, so times x, when you make less than or equal to 17,700. Now, after that, you don't get taxed anymore. So I'm going to go ahead, this next number is going to come from what is 6.05% of our maximum income. So this next part, when I multiplied this, I got $1,070.85. So that's here. The most you are going to pay is that $1,070.85, and that's if you make more than the maximum taxable income. So that is how the piecewise function should be set up. Now 10 years later, that that percent has increased, and so has the maximum income, and so express that as a piecewise. So we're going to do it the same way as up above. You take the percentage as a decimal, right, times whatever you make. When you make less than, I should put when, and x represents the amount of money you make, when x is less than or equal to the $45,000. Now, to get that next amount, I have to take that maximum taxable income times my percent, and I got for this one $3,379.50. So this is the amount you would pay total if you make over $45,000. So if a person earned $50,000 in both of those years, 1978 and 1998, what's the difference in their taxes paid? Well, we already calculated that. In 1988, right, the most you would pay, remember there's a maximum, so even though you made $50,000 in both of those years, in 1978 you're only going to tax $1,070.85. In 1988, the most you would be taxed is $33.79.50. So find the difference in those two amounts. You are paying over $2,000 more. So that is the difference. You're paying a lot more in 1988 than you were in 1978. So years later, now we're at 2016. The government is taking out 6.2% for Social Security. Here's your maximum taxable income. Here's Medicare. How much money should someone have earned in 2016 so that their payments into Medicare will equal to their payments in Social Security? Now, this is like one in your homework, so pay attention, okay? So, first of all, I should clarify that Medicare does not max out. You are taxed on Medicare no matter how much you make. Social Security is. So the most you would pay for Social Security is 6.2% of $118,500. So I'm going to calculate what that 6.2% is first. And I got $73.47. So here are their payments. Here is their payments into Social Security. So it's asking, when will these payments be equal to the payments you will make for Medicare? And I'm just going to put X because this is based on earnings. So when will my Medicare percentage equal the total amount I paid into Social Security? So this is how you will set it up in your homework. And then you would have to divide by this percentage. And that would tell you how much you've paid into Medicare. So when I divided this out, I got that I would have had to make, $500,000 basically. I would have to make $500,000 for my Medicare to equal, because Medicare is such a small percentage. So 1.45% of this would equal 6.2% of those earnings. All right, so moving on. We're going to get ones into that are much more detailed. So in number 4, I'm going to bring this down a little bit. In 1998, Lisa earned $149,000. The Social Security, and you can use this too. So this starts in 2000, so I won't be able to use that yet. But in your book, it goes from like 1978 all the way to current. The Social Security maximum taxable income is $68,400, and the Social Security percent was 6.2%. So let's walk through all the parts for number 4. First, this is her yearly gross pay. What was her monthly? So 149, 461.20 divided by 12. And now that gives me, divided by 12, that gives me $12,455.10. I wish I made that per month. That would be amazing. In what month did she hit the maximum taxable security income? So if she's making this per month, when is she going to reach $68,400? Well, I would take $68,400 and divide it by the amount she's making per month, and that'll tell me when she reaches that amount. So if I enter this in my calculator, $68,400 divided by the amount she's making per month, I got 5.49, so that can be easily rounded in 5.5 months. But it says in what month? So January, right? Feb, March, April, May, right? And it keeps going. 5.5 months, that'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and a half. So half of June. So in June. Okay, so how much Social Security tax did she pay in May? Well, it's 6.2% of what she's making. So in May, you take her monthly, right? This is how much her check is, times the 0.062%, because in May, she hadn't maxed out yet. So in May, if I multiply that, I get $772.22, almost $800. But that is because she's making so much money. right? If you're only making $1,000 a month, you're only probably paying $60. So it's going to be more it increases as your income increases. Now, how much Social Security tax did she pay in July? Well, she maxed out in June, so in July she paid nothing. What about in June when she maxed out? Well, I would take what I paid in May, right, because this would be what she paid each month. This is what she would have paid in January, February, March, April, May. But in June, I only got halfway through the month. So I'm going to multiply this by 0.5 because I only paid it halfway through June. And so that gives me, and I'm getting that 0.5 from here. And so if I cut this amount in half, in June she would have only paid $386.11 because she will in June she will have already hit the maximum taxable income. All right, so for number 5, in 2010, which I can see from this chart, in 2010, for the first time since 2004, the maximum taxable income was not raised. That's not what the percent. Wait. Find the maximum a person could pay in Social Security in 2010. That chart is wrong, but okay. So I have, sorry, I was looking at this chart I have. All right, so the most you could pay in 2010, $106,800, and the percent was 0.062. So I have that the most that they would pay is $6,621.60. Number 6, in 2011, which you can see from here, the percent dropped, and they were trying to create an economy boost, figuring that if you're taxed less, you'll spend more. So in 2011, the percent lowered to 4.2. So how much did a taxpayer earning more than the maximal taxable income save in 2011? So in 2010, which we calculated in number 5, they were paying $66,621.60. If that's lowered in 2011, they're only paying, here's your maximum taxable income, but now times 0.042%, and that gave me $44,85.60. So in 2011, you would only have to pay this in taxes. So let's look at the amount saved by subtracting. You would save $2,136. This looks just like a problem on your homework, hint, hint. All right, last two. We only have 2 more problems. Number 7. So in 2005, Mr. Jackson had 2 jobs. So his first job, he earned $74,007 from January to August. And then the rest of the year, he earned $35,311, and that was from August to the end of the year to December. Now, his employer for his second job said that they took out Social Security taxes on all of his income. As a result, he paid too much. How much should he get refunded? So let's look at 2005's maximum taxable income. So 2005, I have $90,000. And so based on the percentage in 2005, so back to this chart, 6.2%. So I'm trying to find his total that he should have been taxed. So I'm going to multiply 90,000 times 0.062, and I get $5,580. And then I'm going to figure out what he was taxed. So first thing I need to do is figure out what percentage of this had gotten him to the 90,000. So now what's 90,000 minus the 74,000 that he made the first 8 months of the year? Or 8. So if I subtract that, I got 15,993. So once he had made that, this doesn't reach 90,000, correct? So part of his second job would have gotten him to the maximum, and I'm figuring out how much. So what I did was what is in his second job when he would have maxed out. So minus the 15,993, and I got 19,318. So he should not have been taxed on that last 20,000. And so I'm going to multiply by that percent, and that will give me the amount he should be refunded, which is almost $1,200, $1,192.72. My last problem for today, and then we will be done. So very similar to an earlier problem, it's just more practice. So in 2015, here is this doctor's salary. What was her monthly gross pay? So you take your yearly and divide it by the months in the year. And I got, wow, $31,000. This explains the big houses I see for our doctors per month. So this is what she's making per month. See, it pays to get a higher education so you can make more money per month. Sorry, I had a little drink of coffee. And what month did she hit the maximum taxable income? Well, in 2015, let's look at my chart. The maximum is $118,500. So I'll move that up. Okay, that's the maximum taxable amount. So I'm going to do what we did earlier. I'm going to take that maximum amount and divide it by what she's making per month to figure out how many months it would have taken her to hit that maximum. So if you take your calculator and you divide, I got in only 3.73 months. So in what month would that be? Well, January, Feb, March, April, May, and so forth, right? It keeps going. 3 months, 1, 2, 3, so 0.7 would be in April. How much Social Security tax did she pay in February? Well, if she's making this per month and she hasn't maxed out yet, so 776.55 times the percentage, which according to this chart in 2015, it was 6.2%, so 0.062. If I multiply that, I get that she paid almost $2,000 in Social Security tax. And it says to the nearest cent, so you should have cents. Now in part D, September. Well, she maxed out in April, so in September she paid nothing. How much did she pay in April? Well, it says 0.73, so 0.73 of what she would pay each month. And I got that she would have only paid $14.38.21. And that completes that unit.